Nevada in 2025, the lights still flash on the strip, the casinos still hum, but behind the glitz, the market is cracking. Home prices are sliding across the state, inventory is stacking up, and the once rock-solid confidence in Nevada real estate is vanishing fast. Not long ago, this was the land of quick flips and affordable living. Pandemic migration and investor money poured in, lifting towns big and small. Now, those same places are facing price drops of 10%, 15%, even over 20%, with homes sitting on the market for months and sellers cutting deep just to get a nibble. From border towns to booming suburbs, the signs are everywhere: half-finished homes, quiet streets, and a creeping stillness where growth once roared. These aren't minor slowdowns. They're full-blown reversals, and for buyers, sellers, and investors, the difference between profit and disaster is getting razor thin. Let's break down the 10 Nevada cities where the crash is hitting hardest in 2025. Number 10, Laughlin. Tucked along the Colorado River, Laughlin once sold a quieter, budget-friendly version of Nevada living: a few casinos, some sunshine, and homes cheap enough to make you think, why not? During the pandemic, that pitch worked. Remote workers and small-scale investors nudged the median home price up to $280,000 by mid-2022. But in 2025, that run-up feels like a mirage. Prices have slid to around $245,000, down 12.5%, and houses now linger for more than 80 days on the market. Inventory keeps climbing as sellers face a shrinking pool of buyers. Tourism is cooling, too. Rising insurance costs for riverfront properties and inflation biting into visitors' spending have cut into the town's lifeblood. Businesses see fewer customers, streets feel less lively, and that affordable escape energy is fading fast. What was once a low-stakes bet for homeownership is starting to look like a risky gamble, one that could leave you holding property no one wants. Would you buy here if the price was low, but the neighborhood kept getting quieter? Number 9, Dayton. Just east of Carson City, Dayton was pitched as Nevada's next big thing: wide open land, small-town calm, and prices that felt like a steal compared to Reno or Vegas. The plan worked for a while. New homes popped up fast, and bidding wars broke out during the pandemic. Now in 2025, that momentum has flatlined. Prices have slipped roughly 9% in the past year. Partially built houses sit unfinished, and completed ones linger unsold. Average days on market keep stretching, and out-of-state migration, once a key driver, has slowed to a crawl. The cracks run deeper than prices. Some neighborhoods still rely on outdated utilities, patchy cell service, and limited high-speed internet, instant deal breakers for remote workers. Without better infrastructure and amenities, Dayton's draw is losing its shine. For first-time buyers or retirees, the dream of a quiet life here might not be worth the risk of a market in slow decline. Would you take a chance on Dayton if it meant owning a home with shaky resale value? Number 8, Pahrump. About an hour west of Las Vegas, Pahrump has long sold the dream of rural freedom: wide open lots, cheap land, and room to live off the grid. During the pandemic, that pitch drew buyers in droves, pushing the median home price to around $380,000 in mid-2022. Fast forward to 2025, and the boom is over. Prices have plunged to $325,000, a 14.5% drop. Homes now sit unsold for more than 110 days, and inventory has swelled by over 35% year over year. Many of those pandemic-era buyers were speculators, and they're now scrambling to unload properties at any price. The problem? Pahrump's economy isn't built to sustain high housing demand. Job growth is thin, and without a steady stream of new residents, demand has evaporated. Those big empty lots once marketed as your canvas are now reminders of abandoned plans. It's a market that rose on hype and is sinking just as quickly, leaving behind streets where for sale signs outnumber mailboxes. Would you buy here if the only thing guaranteed was more empty space? Number 7, Carson City. As Nevada's capital, Carson City usually enjoys steadier footing than flashier markets, bolstered by government jobs, local businesses, and a slower pace of growth. But even here, the pandemic housing wave pushed prices to unsustainable heights, peaking around $520,000 in mid-2022. By 2025, that peak has crumbled. Median prices are down to $440,000, a 15.4% drop, and homes are taking more than 90 days to sell. Inventory has jumped over 28% year over year, tipping supply far beyond current demand. The slowdown boils down to affordability and demand. Without a constant stream of high-earning remote workers, the market has lost its biggest recent driver. Local wages can't match inflated home prices, so properties simply sit. Neighborhoods that once buzzed with optimism now have an eerie stillness. Streets are quiet, for sale signs stay up longer, and the hum of growth has faded into the background. Would you move here if the capital city's biggest asset? Stability was starting to slip? Number 6, Fernley. For years, Fernley billed itself as Reno's affordable escape, a place where you could snag a bigger home for less and still be within commuting distance. That narrative held strong until the market overbuilt itself into trouble. At its mid-2022 peak, Fernley's median home price hit $430,000. In 2025, it slid to $370,000, a 14% drop. Homes now sit on the market for more than 95 days, and inventory has surged over 30% year over year, creating a glut that buyers can easily pick through. The culprit? Overzealous developers betting on endless demand. They poured in new subdivisions faster than job growth could keep pace, leaving rows of unsold homes. Add in long-term water supply concerns and spotty infrastructure in some areas, and the appeal starts to crack. Investors who jumped in during 2021 are now just hoping to break even. Fernley still markets itself as a value buy, but each month that surplus grows, that value shrinks. Would you roll the dice on Fernley if the odds favored the house and the house was sitting empty? Number 5, Sparks. Sparks once lived in Reno's shadow, but during the pandemic boom, that shadow turned into a spotlight. Prices surged as buyers sought a slightly more affordable alternative, peaking at $550,000 in mid-2022. Now in 2025, the shine has dulled. Median prices have fallen to $460,000, a 16.4% drop, and homes take twice as long to sell compared to the frenzy days. Bidding wars? Gone. Multiple price cuts? Common. Insurance costs have piled on, especially for properties near wildfire-prone areas, driving up total ownership costs. Rent growth has flatlined, vacancies are creeping up, and investor enthusiasm has cooled. The core problem is classic overbuild. Sparks expanded rapidly, betting demand would never slow. But when Reno's market cooled, Sparks felt it even harder: too many houses, not enough buyers. For those eyeing Sparks now, the risk is clear: you might buy into a market still on the way down, waiting years for it to rebound. Would you plant roots here knowing the next big thing might already have passed? Number 4, Henderson. Henderson has long been the jewel of Las Vegas suburbs, upscale neighborhoods, golf course views, and a retiree-friendly vibe. It felt immune to the wild swings of Nevada's boom and bust cycle. But 2025 has proven otherwise. After peaking at $600,000 in mid-2022, the median home price has fallen to $490,000, an 18.3% drop. Homes now linger for more than 115 days, and inventory has climbed over 30% year over year. Even affluent buyers are hesitating, cautious about committing in a falling market. The higher the mortgage, the harder rising interest rates hit. Add in the fact that Henderson's luxury market was heavily driven by out-of-state migration, and the slowdown in that flow has left high-end properties sitting. Once busy communities are showing subtle signs of stagnation: pools unused, pristine yards without residents, and homes staged for sale for months on end. For a city used to steady demand, it's an unsettling shift. Would you buy into Henderson's prestige if it meant waiting years to regain your equity? Number 3, North Las Vegas. Once one of Nevada's fastest-growing suburbs, North Las Vegas thrived on its relative affordability and endless new construction. Young families and first-time buyers flocked here, and by mid-2022, the median home price hit $460,000. But in 2025, that growth story has reversed sharply. Prices have dropped to $380,000, a 17.4% fall, and homes now take over 120 days to sell. Inventory has exploded by more than 40% year over year, creating a glut that's hard to ignore. The crash was driven by two forces: affordability crunch and overbuilding. High mortgage rates hit working-class buyers the hardest, and the sheer pace of new construction left too many houses chasing too few buyers. Neighborhoods that once bustled now feel hollow. Streetlights shine on empty driveways, and playgrounds stand unused, quiet reminders of a boom that ended too soon. Would you buy in North Las Vegas if the streets looked ready for a crowd that never came? Number 2, Reno. Reno reinvented itself over the last decade, from a gaming town to a rising tech hub, pulling in California migrants and big-name companies. By mid-2022, the median home price rocketed to $620,000, fueled by aggressive job growth and high-earning newcomers. But in 2025, the momentum has broken. Prices have tumbled to $500,000, a 19.4% drop, and homes now sit on the market for over 130 days. Inventory is up an alarming 45% year-over-year, creating a surplus too big for current demand to absorb. The slowdown mirrors national tech struggles, and without that constant influx of talent, Reno's housing demand has cooled fast. Affordability is another wall. Local wages can't keep pace with pandemic-era price spikes. Downtown and the tech campuses aren't deserted, but the energy has thinned. More for sale signs, fewer new faces, and a sense that the city's rapid climb may have peaked. Would you gamble on Reno if the tech bet that built it is starting to wobble? Number 1, Las Vegas. Las Vegas has always been a city of extremes, soaring highs, crushing lows. After the pandemic, it saw one of its biggest housing booms ever, driven by Californians, remote workers, and investors piling in. By mid-2022, the median home price hit $480,000. Now, in 2025, the market has swung the other way hard. Prices have plunged to $370,000, a massive 22.9% drop. Homes that once sold in days now sit for over 140 days, and inventory has more than doubled year over year. Two forces are hitting hardest: the exodus of out-of-state buyers and investor sell-offs flooding the market. Builders who ramped up during the frenzy are now cutting prices on unsold homes, dragging values down further. In some new developments, entire rows of houses sit empty. Streets feel quieter, pools are unused, and the city's breakneck growth has stalled, an unsettling echo of the 2008 collapse, only faster. Would you buy in Vegas now, knowing the house might lose value before you even unpack? From Laughlin's fading riverfront energy to Las Vegas's eerily quiet subdivisions, Nevada's 2025 housing story is one of sharp reversals and hard lessons. These 10 cities rode a pandemic-fueled high, surging prices, bidding wars, and a rush of newcomers, only to watch demand vanish, inventory balloon, and values fall by double digits. The patterns are striking. Overbuilding in places like Fernley and North Las Vegas. Affordability crunches in Henderson and Reno. Investor retreats leaving whole neighborhoods in limbo. And for buyers who jumped in at the peak, equity has evaporated almost overnight. This isn't a gentle correction. It's a full-on reset, and it may not be over. For some towns, recovery could take years. For others, the damage might leave a lasting mark on their identity. So, would you take a bargain in one of these markets now, or wait for the dust to settle? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit like if you found this breakdown useful, and subscribe if you want more unfiltered looks at how housing booms turn into busts. Because in real estate, knowing where not to buy can be just as valuable as spotting the next hotspot.